woods where nobody could hurt me. Pretty soon I saw a squirrel, and I started to stalk it. As time goes on, I got better at stalking and tracking game around that little woodlot. I was safe and happy there until I had to go back to the apartment. Mother Nature was saving me. Later, an uncle took me hunting, and I found a real connection to the outdoors. Guns, in this very different culture from what I knew on the streets, helped save my life. John says he found himself between two cultures, so he decided to take good parts from both. A lot of students wonder where I grew up and what color I am, he often tells people. New students sometimes ask me, "What are you?" I think they're looking for a role model they can relate to by skin color, so I reply by asking them, "What do you think I am?" After they guess, I tell them, "I'm half black and half white, but I look Spanish and I eat Chinese food." They laugh. I let them all know I'm just like them. A friend of John's introduced him to Joe Mascari. At first, when John broached the idea of having his after-school programs there, Joe said, "Are you nuts? This is a carpet store." But John kept talking, and pretty soon Joe gave him these rooms to use for free. Joe's wife was killed by a knife-wielding murderer. Most people would say he shouldn't be helping us because of that, says John. But he gets it. He gets that if she had a gun, she might be alive. He gets that something is rotten in this inner-city culture, and he gets that we're doing something about it. He even says if that thug had come to Camp Compass, he never would have done such an evil thing. So he helps us use guns to teach responsibility, to grow upstanding adults. Mike Kay, sitting across from me, tells me that 2 of his close boyhood friends are in jail for shooting at cops and that others are dead. He waves his tattooed right arm at the city streets of Allentown, Pennsylvania, and says, "People blame guns for all that bad stuff out there." I tell him, "It's not guns." I tell him how John used guns to save my life. He leans closer, puts his hands on the little school desk between us, and says, "The only way to save people like me is with good examples and by not lying to them about guns and all that. Those politicians who blame guns are making the streets worse. They're sentencing kids to death and jail because they just don't understand." He shakes his head and says, "All those counselors I saw." He pauses again. His eyes tell me he's repressing a lot of things he doesn't want to get into. He says, "Only John told me the truth. Only John cared enough to do that. You tell the truth like he does in your book, and I don't know, maybe it'll make some difference." He takes a deep breath and continues. "Back in 1995, I was getting into fights, stealing, getting suspended from school, and all that. Mentor after mentor quit on me. I was a lost cause in their eyes, someone that would either end up in jail or dead by 21. Let me tell you, I was ready to give up too. But then I was introduced to John. Sure, I knew of John from elementary school. I remember walking by his classroom, always seeing smiling faces and hearing laughter. It was such a positive atmosphere. But I thought he was going to be another mentor to quit on me. But then weeks had passed and John was still there. He took me out to do positive things. He showed me life. It was weird. Guns in my neighborhood were bad things. The guys who had them got them because a gun made them powerful. Guns made them cool. Most of my friends got handguns. No one taught them about guns. Most of their dads weren't around. All they knew was a gun tucked in their pants made them feared, made them dangerous. But you know, Mike says, John took me out to a gun range and taught me to shoot a shotgun, then a rifle. He showed me how to unload a gun and to shoot safely by keeping my finger off the trigger until I'm going to shoot, and teaches me to keep the barrel in a safe direction and all that. He teaches me responsibility. He shows me how a real man handles a gun. He trusted me. No one ever did that. I didn't want to let him down. Mike shifts his feet and says, "So I stopped getting in trouble and got my grades up. John took me hunting. Soon I'm back in the neighborhood showing my friends the picture of the deer I got, and they think it's so cool. So all I want to do is go hunting. It was so good, so far away from the streets, and in my hands was this great responsibility, this gun, and all I had to do was handle it right, like a man does, and I'd be right and good and maybe get a deer or whatever."